Well, happy holidays to everybody, and happy holidays to our fans. You know, it's not every arena in the country when the students leave for Christmas break is filled, and we really respect and appreciate our fans. They're some of the best in the country, loyal, support us, and to have this type of crowd tonight for this game, you know, means a lot to our team. It means a lot to our program and certainly our future. And you know, nobody thinks more highly, respects our fans more than me. And never will we take them for granted because not many places are like Arizona on game night. It was a good win. You know, it was a tough game. There was times where we didn't play well. UConn had a lot to do with it. When I think of UConn, I think back to when I played this game. And they have always been great competitors, hard-nosed, tough-minded. They're that type of program that rise to the challenge in big games. And they had 9 days to prepare, and I thought their defensive game plan was really good. To double-team DeAndre, they ran a lot of bodies at him, and they have some really good guards. So part of why we didn't look good at times was them, but love the way we finished the game. You know, I think on a 16-to-something run. And that's what you do when you're a good team. You know, you just, especially at home, you find a way and you play your best at the end. And it's good to see our guys do that. We're so much more of a confident group and team than we used to be. And I believe that sometimes that's more important than anything. So our players, because we went to Spain, in the way the calendars worked, some of our guys haven't been home in a long, long time. No fall break. No break between summer school, no Thanksgiving break. Matter of fact, I don't even remember Thanksgiving for a lot of reasons. But it's going to be a break that everybody really needs, and to connect with their family and people that they care about, get away from basketball. And then when we come back, get ready for the Pac-12 season. So our guys have done a great job in the classroom. It's a resilient group, and, you know, I think that a lot of the things we've gone through could potentially bring out the best in our team down the road. And I'm looking forward to all of them enjoying the holidays in this break.
Sean, you talked about hard-nosed, you know, Big East-style basketball. Is that what kind of brought out toughness tonight in Dusan Ristic?
You know, I don't talk enough about Dusan. You know, sometimes your compliant family member or your compliant player, you don't need to give him any attention because he's always good. And that's really my fault, because when I think of the players that embody the qualities of a program that we want to have, I think of Dusan. I think of T.J. McConnell, those types of players. And there's a lot of them: Kyle Fogg, Kadeem Allen, Nick Johnson, Caleb Tarczewski. It's not just the younger players that have left to be in the NBA. They speak for themselves. But somebody like Dusan has outworked the competition. In 110-degree heat, he's run in the sand pit with our strength coach. He has worked, I mean, endless hours to make his body stronger and more explosive. And he's developed. There's not one member of our coaching staff, managers, players that would say anything other than Dusan is one of the hardest working players that we've ever had. And watching him in his senior year, when it comes together, that's what you want to happen for him. Tonight might have been one of his best games ever at Arizona. We needed him in the first half. We needed him late in the game, and he delivered. But he's really become a very, very good player. He rebounds better. He defends better. And obviously, we all know he has an uncanny soft touch in the post. So I'm just thrilled for him that with all the sacrifice, that he can see the fruits of his labor. And he's a really important piece to our future.
How much of usual Alonzo did we get tonight?
I'm sorry?
How much of like the usual with his knee did we see?
He wasn't at 100%, but he wasn't at any further risk. You know, he doesn't have anything tear or anything going on with his knee. And he just suffered a knee sprain and a significant bruise. But, you know, Alonzo loves the game, and he's a tough kid. He doesn't miss much either. So the fact he was available and ready to play is a testament to him. But his defense down the stretch was a big reason we won. we switched him on Adams, and he rose to the challenge. Obviously made big shots, but he did a good job.
What do you see out of Raleigh now? Another nice game, kind of quiet 20.
You know, I like Raleigh, the fact that he didn't have any turnovers. Is that right? He didn't have any turnovers? That's a big deal too, you know, because he's so aggressive that when he's that aggressive and not turning the ball over, you know, he's going to get fouled. He's going to find his teammates. And he really took what the defense gave tonight. You know, 3 for 5 from 3. You know, Raleigh's another example that he's worked extremely hard on his three-point shooting. I think you guys know when he first came here, he was streaky at best, but he can really shoot the ball. When they went zone tonight, we answered the bell almost on every possession, and Alonzo and Raleigh were a big part of that.
What do you think? He's 4 games back, but what do you think he's at comparatively, like percentage-wise, of the guy we can see eventually?
I'd say about 80%. Not because of his health, but more because of his conditioning. He can really wear down during the course of a game. If you look at his minutes, you know, 31 minutes is a lot. So this next stretch, first of all, a break for him is good, but I think this next stretch he'll really settle into being the total player that we know he is. But, you know, it's nice to have him back. He's impacted our success in a big way.
The first few weeks when you had Raleigh last year, you got 3-4 charge calls just kind of by virtue of being a big guy, and then that kind of stopped. With DeAndre, how much does that happen with him getting fouls called in just by virtue of him being so big?
He maybe had a couple tough calls go against him tonight, you know, but you know, his passing is very understated. He had 5 assists, but I'm not so sure that all 5 of his assists weren't threes, 3-point shots. I mean, his value might have been 15 points right there. It's hard to double team him. Dusan benefits from that, and all of our perimeter players benefit from that. We had a couple shots that we missed that he passed out, but they threw everybody at him, the kitchen sink, you know, and I think at some point in the second half, he was almost apprehensive to even turn. And a couple times if he would have, he might have scored. But they were trapping him, and they did a good job. That was their game plan. They wanted somebody else to beat them, and that's what happened. A couple of our other guys did beat them, but it was because of DeAndre's unselfishness.
What did you think of the aggressiveness tonight? The fact that there was some chippiness between both teams, but it didn't seem like it seemed like there was some good fire on both sides tonight. You know, especially in that last game before the holiday break. It could be easy for them to kind of be able to complacent. They obviously didn't seem to be tonight. What did you think of the way they played? Your team played tonight, and the fact they were obviously very into the game. There was a lot of energy.
Yeah, I mean, it's UConn, Arizona, ESPN. I mean, it's a big deal. One of the reasons that we decided to have this series is the history of UConn. I mean, they've won it, I think, 4 times, right? I mean, Kevin Ollie, he's won the national championship. Last time we played them was in the regional final, and we lost at the buzzer, and they went on to win the national championship. So 2 storied traditions, a lot of pride. Of course, we're going to play hard, but UConn competes. They do, and I think that's the identity of their program, has been for a long time, and was tonight. But one of the reasons the game was hard for us is because of them.
The history, I mean, a lot of it's ancient history for the players, of course, but 5 times you guys have met, they've won all of them, including that 11 game, of course. Did that come up at all? Did you bring that up to the players, or was it not?
I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. Maybe because I beat him so much when I played that I'm just kidding. I'll get in trouble for that one.
You like the way you're shooting from beyond the arc?
Yeah, we have to take good threes, but a lot of our 3-point shots tonight came off of the inside catch, right, and then out. Those are high percentage shots. Early in the game, maybe we came out a couple times. You know, in the first 8 minutes with our team, it's important that we get the ball close to the basket. Fouls happen. You get to the other team's bench. We get to the bonus earlier, and that opens up a lot of things. You know, sometimes, you know, like any team, we're not perfect. We lose sight of that. But our 19 threes, you know, 13 or 14 of them are great-looking shots. Like I said, ball movement, DeAndre and Dusan, willing passers. You know, Dusan had a big offensive rebound tonight, kicked it out to Parker, and one of Parker's 2 threes came off of a hustle play and an offensive rebound from Dusan. So that's the one thing that I'll tell you that I think we have to get better at. we don't offensive rebound nearly at the level we're capable of, and that's something we have to get better at, and we will.
When you talk about Dusan, what's your take on what's it like and do you handle him differently, being as he's played with some really high-profile big guys, and DeAndre particularly even this year, Lowry last year, everybody talking about those guys and not so much him. Is that maybe a good thing, or is that hard? How do you have to handle him?
You never have to babysit Dusan. He's one of the most unselfish people that I've been around. I said it out there on the radio. In 4 years, I'm going to say that Dusan hasn't been home for more than a grand total of 3 weeks total. 3 weeks. That's really hard. And he came here in his senior year, but he sacrificed. And he's going to get his college degree this spring. English isn't his first language. He's an international student. There's a number of things that make it, I don't want to say more difficult, but certainly challenging. He has to be here in person for almost every class that he takes, but he's a very good student. He's one of our team's hardest workers. He's one of the most popular players that we've had among his teammates because he just, he cares about the team. And, I don't know if anybody mentioned it, but one of the things that happened when we lost our third game in 3 days in the Bahamas is when I walked in the locker room after we lost to Purdue, Dusan was waiting on me, and he's usually just sitting. And he said, "Coach, I need to say a few things," and he did. And I'm not saying that's why. It wasn't like this great speech that turned things around, but I think it shows you that as a senior and as somebody that has worked as hard as he's worked, that what we do here really matters. And when someone like that steps up in front of his teammates, they know that what he says is very heartfelt. And it's good to see him, like I said, not only play well, but we've won 7 games in a row since then, and he's been a big part of all 7 games that we've played.
It is the 126th anniversary of the first time James Naismith hung peach baskets in a Y. What, based on that, throughout your life, what has basketball meant to you?
Well, sports in general. I think the one thing about sports, and there's sometimes you can have a lot of negative connotations, especially in college sports, but it can be the greatest class a young person can attend. I mean, you just think about everything that players that are on our current team have gone through this fall. The time demands, losing 3 games in a row, having a teammate injured, learning their role. We have a lot of new faces. So, it really reflects how things are sometimes when you leave college. You have to work together as a group. It's not always going to be easy. You have to sacrifice. So, with our sport, I think it's a gift for a lot of our players. And somebody like Dusan, Parker, they're going to leave here with their degree, and they're going to have an unbelievable litany of memories and lessons that they're going to have for the rest of their life that's going to help them when they leave college. So it's not maybe basketball, but I think sports in general, what it means to people. And, somebody like myself who's been around the game for a long time, you learn things through sports, not just did you win or did you lose.
So what was the gist of when Dusan gave that talk? I was just curious, any specifics that he said maybe that was different than what you're telling him, or anything that maybe sat in?
No, I think what he just said is, this is Arizona. I mean, it's about playing for the win. I mean, we're 3-3 is not good enough, and we have to do the things that we now need to do to start winning, whatever that is. And everybody here has to realize that, it might be to sacrifice this or sacrifice that, but the feeling of losing is overwhelming, especially in our program. We have a lot of pride. Dusan and Parker, you think about it, as we now get ready for the Pac-12, those guys have won 2 regular season championships and 2 Pac-12 tournament championships. There's a lot of pride when you've done those things, and you want to do those types of things in your last year. You don't want to go 0-3 in the Bahamas. So I think for Dusan, his legacy and the legacy of our team will be what we do this year, not what happened 10 years ago or, UConn's won the last 5. Well, this year we beat UConn. So it's about, creating our own identity and our own legacy of 2017 and 18. But those were his comments, but I think that's what we talk a lot about. And it's one thing to talk about it. You know, sometimes you see that player stand up in front of his team and he gave the rah-rah speech, and about 4 days later, he's late for practice. Dusan leads by example, and that's one of the powerful things we have going for us moving forward.
How would you characterize that, or what do you think of this in general, the non-conference season? And do you look at it like pre-Bahamas, Bahamas, post-Bahamas, or how do you, you know, as far as what this team has accomplished and grown or progressed in some cases, or how do you look at it?
We always break our season into non-conference, a regular season conference, the Pac-12 tournament, and then hopefully the opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament. So, you know, this part of our year has ended, and we would have loved to have been 13-0, but I do think we're a lot better team now than when we started, and we're playing maybe our best basketball right now, 10-3. We played a challenging non-conference schedule. Everybody knows that. 6 games away from McHale, and we feel good about what we've done.
How difficult is it for you guys having the holiday break coming up here? I mean, guys will be going home and everything to kind of keep that momentum going ahead of the ASU game. Are there any difficulties to them? Do you have a couple days away?
It's healthy for our players to have that opportunity. You know, they just they need a break. You think about a college student, they relish the opportunity to finish their classes and go home. These guys are not only doing that, but they've practiced, they're listening to their coach all the time. I mean, it's time for a break for them, and they'll come back rejuvenated.
What are you going to be doing for Christmas Eve?
Same thing as you.
Going to be going back, except maybe Keanu and Dusan, as far as
Everybody has a place to go for the holidays. Those who can't will be with friends.
Alex Marcelo didn't play last night.
Alex will play. He's still working through. His ankle is healthy, but he's missed some time, and you know, we elected to just kind of go tonight more in that direction. But we need him, and he'll be ready with this rest and the practices. We fully expect him to be a part of things as we get into the Pac-12.
did it get sore after Monday night's game? Or
No. Yep. Thank you.